Any other questions, Mr. Wright?
Thanks, Addie. I really appreciate it. You're amazing. Thank you. Okay, everyone. I'm the author of My Bubble Opinion, and I just recently did a book tour, and I'm coming after the tour to kind of speak to the people or the readers to let them know that I am paying attention and I am attentive to their questions they may have. And one of the things that you saw, amazing Addie, hey, she's super cool, part of the team, right? And she brought some questions from the readers, and I'll get to that in a moment, but I'll give you a little bit about myself. Military, I did about 28 years, and I say about because, give a day or two. The other thing is I've worked with DOD, and I work with the healthcare industry. But one of the cool things is that I've been part of leadership development, training, simulation, a lot of different things and experiences I have in my life, which kind of I became the conduit for the book, My Bubble Opinion, of course. The approach is that out of all the experience and the training and developing leaders, developing employees, developing teams, I've learned that it's not what we're teaching them to do. It's the person teaching the other people or the person that's involved in the operations of their life, right? Operations or the operations of an organization. What drives them? And part of the things that drives them, and I say in my book, My Bubble Opinion, is that who are we? And as you see the symbol on the front, the me right here, they've got a sword. And they kind of look like an alien a little bit because we're all alien to ourselves until we truly ask the questions of why and get it defined to where at least we have a path to discovering what drives us based on our say-so, not our cultural conditions say-so, because our environment and our social environment, especially being under our roof or outside when we walk outside our homes, it influences our decision making, and that has a way of rather following us all our lives. Something we may have learned as a teenager, we still make decisions off of that thing, that event, regardless if it's true or not. It could be something that a parent said or a person we had an encounter with, and we take that as a way of life and make it part of our decision makings throughout life. And one thing that I admire about old folks like me is that we have a tendency to give out of energy, or our energy is reduced on trying to keep up with things we've been taught or things we've taught people like, hey, I don't have time for that. And we kind of get that in the grumpy old men, right? We've seen that movie before, where it's, hey, I'm going to just do what I do, like it or not. Now, My Bubble Opinion says that we should learn to have say-so in our lives as early as possible. And one of the things that we have to do, or we should consider, is as parents, what do we teach our children? Do we teach them that a tradition? Do we teach them just do what I say? Or do we teach them the truths and the real life ability to make decisions off of their independent life as they run into situations? So being a mentor, a guide, as well as a parent is important. And My Bubble Opinion speaks to that, where I kind of use the example of Santa Claus, right? In one of my podcasts, I say Santa Claus. And the question was, when do we start teaching our children about My Bubble or giving them the opportunity to have say-so? I said, well, as soon as their guardian, their friend, or their parents says, Santa Claus got that gift for you, it begins there. And I said, it's a lot of pain in discovering Santa Claus is not real. And usually you're left on your own to discover that. Man, and all friends don't respect what your parents tell you about Santa Claus. And they'll tell you quick when they know it after they went through their pain of discovery. Hey, Santa Claus ain't real. Santa Claus is not real. Then you're like, what? It is. Christmas is next week and I'm not giving up my gifts. I'm going to get my gifts. But that starts at a young age where we condition our children, or we condition the young folks to believe a lot of things that are just not true, or it's something somebody used before. It might be 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, and we pass it on and pass it on. And that's what my bubble opinion talks about. It discusses the, the falsities or the truth in life, and how soon or why should we embrace those things. And one thing that's on the back of the book, I say that my bubble opinion is not a 6-step program that is going to get dumped in your lap for you to follow. That's not happening. But it gives you the considerations and perspectives to take to create your own 6-step program, or 20 or 99-step, whatever you need, to live your life, to make sure everybody you come in contact with and that you mentor, guide, that you're giving them the real life applications that they can use during times of difficulties. Because life gets difficult. It gets difficult, man, in an unpredictable manner. And I call that kind of the known unknown. Right? So we can look at things that we do and say, man, I know what's going to happen if I do this. But it's a lot of unknowns in that as well, depending on how we make our decisions and what we use to make our decisions from the resource. And it's important that you are your own best resource in your life. Now, we can say this in a lot of different manners. Well, why should I believe in myself? Why shouldn't I just follow people that's been there, done that? Because sometimes the people that's been there, done that, they don't give you the whole, I'm not going to call it truth, but they don't give you the entire story of that. They give you enough that should get you going in the right direction. But guess what? Wow, it's a lot of trial and error in that as well. So I think that, and as I write this book series, it's important that not only that we pinpoint our mentors, but we have to ask our why. Why do you do that? Why do I believe these things? Why do I take traditions for generations and keep passing it on? Is it good enough to say somebody told me that and I believed them because they were my trusted agent? So I took this and I passed it on, not even saying, man, why did they say that? And I was talking to a young lady not too long ago, and she mentioned she read a book. And the book she read was it had a story in it about a recipe to cook a pot roast. And I hope I'm getting this right, so don't beat me up, but I think it was a pot roast. And the tradition in the recipe that was passed on from generation to generation is always trim the fat before you do this, because that's going to make it good. And the story went on, and then they asked the person, I think it was a grandmother or great-great-grandmother, well, why did you trim the fat? Because they was asking about the recipe. She said, I just trimmed it so it can fit in the pot that I was cooking it in. So think about how many traditions or how many quotes or how many instructions or guidance given was done as a convenience of somebody else, but wasn't meant to be passed on as a guide. That's why we ask our why. That's why we become our own best resources, because when we do that, we kind of discover things, man. But we discover things that are real applications in our life, for our life. And it's okay. Why is it okay? Because you get one life, one to live. And from there, you don't get a redo. So why not, at points in times that you understand and you have those questions, why not do the research? Why not ask yourself, why do I? Or when will I? Or sometimes it could be an inconvenience to go that path, to discover yourself and just go along with what you've been told. It's sometimes it's laborious. It takes work to discover the alien that we are to ourselves. And I'm not saying alien extraterrestrial, but technically, by the definition, being an alien to yourself, you're not like everyone else. And you are answering questions or seeing or discovering things that are unknown to you about yourself. This is a critical process, I think, in everything we do. Because I think we go to our jobs and we do things and we discover the unknowns and we figure out ways to improve the organizational processes and procedures. And we didn't know anything about them initially, or very little when we first got there. And we call it OJT. In the military, we call it on-the-job training. And I think that's a critical part that we have to do with our lives as well. Why do we take these methods and then make them processes, and then we put them on a lot of decisions that we make, that process, and we don't truly know what that process or why that process was created? So that's very important. As you've seen earlier, and I got some questions from readers, so I have no clue what's in here. So we're going to do this together. And it's got question marks on it. Yeah, let's see. Oh my God, what's going on? If anybody asks me to trick questions, I'm going to get you. But let's see what we have here. I can see in it. Just to let everybody know, the book tour was amazing. Did a lot of signings, had a lot of conversations. And I know for a fact some of these questions came off my social media sites, the My Bubble Opinion social media site, because it's not mine. And it came from the questions in the book tour as well. So let's see. I'm glad it's one sheet of paper. Woo. It says, man, I want to thank the team. Hey, I appreciate everything you're doing to help this new process take place and have a new beginning. I really appreciate that. And without people in the background that don't even want recognition helping with this, and definitely having to put up with me, because at times I can be kind of directive, humbled directive though. Let's not get that misunderstood, because I respect and appreciate everything that is done. For people who actually read the book and kind of look at that me from within, and of course the me on the front of the book is you. The me on the front of the book is me as well. And if it's taken from that perspective or consideration, I think we can have a lot of questions to make our lives a little more clearer on our purpose and why. Okay, so let's get to these questions. And question 1, are there any circumstances from the automatic titling of a friend based upon limited exposure to our space? Okay, so I think this reader probably was asking the consequences for titling people friend before we truly get the opportunity to experience them. And one of the things that I said before is the butter pecan and the chocolate ice cream. And I like butter pecan ice cream. And if my friend or my coworker or my partner or my intimate people, my family, if they don't like butter pecan ice cream, the differences start there, right? Now, but I decided to title them friend because they like butter pecan ice cream. If somebody in the group does, oh yeah, that's my friend. We have a commonality. Now, a lot of times that commonality is, as far as it goes, it's not the experience of that individual through their, I'm not going to say daily routines and things they do, but their inner person, their essence. A lot of times we don't get to experience that until we truly need something or we're ignored, right? And then we voice out our desire or request. So yes, it could be a lot of consequences in that. I would tell you what, imagine this situation. Imagine that you have a friend, you've titled them friend, and they're just friends. There's no intimacy, no working, co-worker, nope, just friends. Hey, somebody that you've known for a lot of years, and you talked a lot and had some amazing lunches and blast, and was part of the company, etc. Friend, but you never had any deep interaction to see if they lived up to the title of friend or not. If they really had the capability to be friends, as defined, friend, being there, shoulder to lean on, listening ear. I need to move a couch. Got it. On my way. I need, $2. Got it. Here you go, friend. No problem. The definition, without judgment, without bias. Now, just imagine this situation happening. Say you've been friends with someone for 10, 15 years and you need to get them to take you somewhere. And they say, okay, they take you halfway there and then something else comes up and they have to drop you off where you sit. So they can't even take you back home. Let that sink for a hot second. I pause. Now, with that, you're stuck somewhere having to get yourself back to where you originally was or were, but that person has the title of friend on their chest that you gave them years ago. So the consequences is, did they earn that title of friend, or was it just automatically given because that's what we've been conditioned to believe? Hey, if this person has this one thing, label them friend. Okay? And somebody might have 50 friends, 10 friends, 12 friends, 5 friends, but they labeled them friends, but they've never had to see if their friend is a friend. So the assumption is, yep, they can do everything involved in a friend. That's why I gave them the title until they don't. And that consequence is discovering that you should have kept that title to yourself and been your own best resource. Yep, you know what? They say, man, that's probably kind of mean. You don't want friends? Of course. But just titling somebody friend with limited interaction, that's kind of risky. As you know, that person that was dropped off at the store or wherever they got dropped off at had to realize after 10 or 15 years, like, whoa, that's actually not a friend. Yep, you're just another human being. They got their own priorities in their life to attend to, and you're not really part of that. No matter what situation you're in, as I said before, you didn't even get to the point, or that person didn't even get to the point in the example to where they were supposed to be taken to. So halfway, they got dropped off and left by their friend. So yes, I would say there are consequences. Now, the other consequence is that you and this person are just lined up. Man, it doesn't take much and you communicate the same way. You got the same drive. It might not be the same goal, but the same drive is possible. The same understanding, the self-awareness, communicating with yourself, realizing that you're your best resource, researching, doing things, creating. Yes. That person probably they could be related or titled as friend, or they could be titled as trusted agent. I know that sounds official, but trusted agent means somebody that you can go to that hadn't made their friend. And guess what happens? Anything you need or do, they're available. Anything you don't need, they still available because they advise and they pay attention to you. You don't have to be a friend to do that. You can be a trusted agent and you know that person is present in your space. Okay, question 2. Why is it important to have, I apologize. Why is it important that we leave a legacy for the next generation? Okay, so I would say first, what is a legacy? I think, to me, a legacy is leaving something that a person can use all their life. It doesn't deteriorate. If I leave $50 million and they don't know how to keep recreating the business, I didn't leave a legacy. I left a money source. But if I left money, I left a business and I taught them how to do it, and I made sure I mentored and guided them on how to replicate it in any situation, I'm leaving a legacy, because 9 times out of 10, they are going to teach the people close to their space the same thing. But one of the things that a legacy does is you make sure they have the same mindset and the goals that you line up with. And automatically you're already making sure they know how to teach the next generation how to do this. And you set that up like that. So it's kind of a self-licking ice cream cone. Legacy is that. That's a legacy. That's a legacy. Another legacy is writing a book. It's there forever. Anybody can grab it, touch it, smell it, feel it, read it, and pass it on. You have created something tangible that can be used to help guide. Legacy. I think the media, I think society says legacy means you're above everybody. Your voice is loudest. You're a sports legend. You're a, political legend. You are a business legend. And that's what legacy means. Man, legacy can mean showing somebody how to love somebody else and making sure they love that person that way. Friend, family, or loved ones. Have a passion for what they do. Love what they do that's not driven in gain, self-gain, legacy, because you see them replicate that. That's something somebody can hold on to. It's better than just saying somebody said. No, you show them how to do it and how to do it where it's replicated in good. That's what we owe the next generation. That's what we owe the current generation and the future generation, because of cultural conditioning didn't just start. Cultural conditioning did not just start. It's been going since the beginning of time. Like, hey, a caveman gave somebody a bat or a club. Use this club for that. That person told the next person, use this club for that. They never thought that club could be used for something else, or never thought it was another method instead of the club, use something else and get the same job done. It's been sent for generations, a millennia, thousands of years, millions of years. So I would ask you to create a legacy that can be followed without hearsay, that's tangible, that somebody can touch, that somebody can tap into, so they can be their own best resource, meaning truth, meaning endurance, meaning research, meaning enlightenment, finding out, not just following. You're creating legacies when you do those type things. Okay, question 3. What is the distinction between automatic and voluntary actions when we make our decisions? Okay, this is in the book. Think about when we're setting the table, the plate. Usually we automatically put knife, spoon, fork, napkin. Even if we're eating soup. Hey, that is right there. That's an auto action that we've been taught, that's imprinted in our mind or conditioned to do. Auto action. Now, some people have auto actions of just joy in their life. So one of the things they do when they make a decision, man, they making it from a kumbaya manner, like with love, with giving, with honor. They're giving it to them like, oh yeah, auto action. They go to that because it's not a focus on pain. It's not a focus on negativity. It's a focus on positivity, auto action. And some people, they go to negativity. They go to pain. They go to being insecure with themselves. They go to confusion. It's an auto action and they do it. And that brings doubt in decision making. That brings it to where you don't make a decision. You just leave it. That goes to an auto action could be one of the things you have in your space, people that are just like them. No matter what now, it could be a good, you have people that's good in your space. Auto action, you go around people that's good come around you. It's magnetic. Or the other part is confusion. Some people thrive in confusion, just like some people thrive in good space. Those are auto actions that we do. And a lot of times when we make a decision to do something, we automatically tap into that source, no matter how long ago it's been. We tap into that source to make a decision right now in our present if it was 10 years ago. And that kind of may keep us stuck or repeating a cycle or a loop, good or bad. A good loop, hey man, always glowing. Yay. Hey man, always gloomy. Right? Auto actions. So that's what I think. I don't think I was being too vague. I think I was kind of being to the point of think about if we're in one of those areas in the decisions we make based on our ecosystem we're in that we create. What decisions do we make automatically? So that was question 3.